If I told you that a simple breathing technique done by lying down for 10 minutes a day could help you reduce pain, lower inflammation, boost your immune system, and even help you fight off bacterial infection, would you believe me? Because it's been done, and it's been proven many times in a controlled lab setting. The Wim Hof Method's basic breathing protocol isn't just a feel-good trend. It's grounded in hard science, and it shocked the health community. In this video, I'll show you how the breathing technique works, what it does inside your body, the actual studies that prove it, and how you can start using it today for pain, inflammation, and immunity. This is from the book, The Wim Hof Method by Wim Hof. You can get the book from the top link in the description. But first, a disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a doctor. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new health practices, especially if you have chronic pain or medical conditions. How the Wim Hof basic breathing exercise works. So here's the basic breathing protocol, step by step. First, you take 30 to 40 deep breaths through the nose or mouth, whichever you prefer. But really focus on expanding your stomach, not just normal chest breathing. And then you just exhale with a normal, relaxed breath. On your last exhale, so the 30th or 40th, you breathe out fully and blow all the air out of your lungs, so there's nothing left. And then you hold your breath for as long as you can until you have to breathe. When that urge comes for an inhale, you inhale and hold for 15 seconds. And that is one round, which most people start with, and then they build up and do 4 rounds. And over time you find that you can hold your breath for even longer each time. And you can find this on YouTube by just searching Wim Hof breathing, and it has about 99 million views or something mad like that. And you can just follow that every day. Now here's what happens inside your body while you do this. Your blood oxygen goes up and carbon dioxide goes down, making your blood slightly alkaline. You get a surge of adrenaline, activating your fight or flight response, but on your own terms. Your immune system shifts. Interleukin 10, the anti-inflammatory cytokine, rises, while interleukin 6 and interleukin 8, pro-inflammatory cytokines, fall. You also switch on tumour necrosis factor alpha, a key anti-cancer signal. Over time, this practice resets your nervous system to a calmer baseline, making you more resilient to pain and stress. All of that, and that is summarised as way more, from just your breath. No pills, no supplements, just you and your lungs. You see, all different breathwork and breathing techniques and just breathing consciously is a lost ancient skill. Something humans have done for centuries to heal, focus and awaken. And we're only starting to remember and use its power. So how do we know that this isn't just all hype and a theory? Well, next I'm diving into the hard science that proves the Wim Hof method works. The E. coli experiment and scientific proof. So this is quite a lot of info, so you might see me looking down to my notes to just refresh my memory on it. So first, Radboud University doctors drew a large volume of Wim Hof's blood while he was doing a different experiment with cold exposure. So they had a large amount, so after he did his whole cold exposure experiment, they then used it to run more tests on it because they noticed he had high anti-inflammatory and extra things in his blood. They exposed those samples to bacteria that normally provoke a violent immune response in most people. Every control sample flared up, except his. There was 0 reaction. That finding sparked a bolder idea. So Dr. Nitya, Dr. Peter Pickers and Dr. Matthias Cox proposed injecting Hof with an E. coli-derived endotoxin, the same compound given to 240 volunteers within this small study, all of whom developed fever, chills, headaches and severe flu-like symptoms. Could Hof suppress those inflammatory markers in real time? Hof agreed. So now at the hospital he was hooked up to vital sign monitors and baseline measurements were taken. Dr. Pickers warned that symptoms would appear in 60 to 90 minutes. Immediately after the injection, Hof began his basic breathing protocol. He also always does this in the morning anyway, which changes things as well throughout the day. An hour later, nothing. no fever, no chills, no headaches. Instead, the funny thing, while they was doing this experiment, his blood oxygen saturation plunged from a healthy 95 to 100% down to 30%, levels at which most people lose consciousness, yet Hof lay calm in a controlled hypoxic state. So 50% is usually apparently where people, I think, die or go unconscious, and he was at 30. Every 5 to 10 minutes, doctors withdrew blood for analysis. The results were staggering. As mentioned before, IL-6 and IL-8 pro-inflammatory cytokines collapsed, IL-10 anti-inflammatory cytokines skyrocketed, TNF-A tumour necrosis factor activated, adrenaline surged higher than any previously recorded conscious spike. Again, no drugs, no medication, just Hof's breath. As usual, critics and doctors and scientists all protested, saying that's just one man, N equals 1. So the researchers suggested he trained some people to see if it wasn't just him being a genetic freak and he could show this with other people. So they all suggested, do you want weeks or months, a year? And he said, give me 10 days. No, make it 4. So at his training camp near Czech border, Hof taught 12 ordinary men his breathing, mindset and cold exposure techniques. On day 4, they stood bare-chested in shorts at minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit on Mount Snizka, breathing so intensely that even Czech military ninjas paused for selfies. 25 minutes in, every man was sweating and fully engaged. Then those same 12 volunteers returned for the same E. coli endotoxin injection. The result, again, 0 flu-like symptoms across the board. That made N13, not N equals 1. Now, science and doctors had to pay attention. Over 16,000 people have received this endotoxin in similar studies, and all experienced severe reactions, except these 13. That exception isn't just trivia. It upends everything we thought we knew about inflammation and disease. Inflammation is at the root of most diseases. If you search it up, you'll see many: Crohn's, arthritis, etc., etc. And there are many people in the book that have said they've done cold exposure and breathing and helped their symptoms or completely got rid of them, but I can't say that on air. And again, you might not think this is worthy sources, but I've seen people on TikTok and YouTube that have their own channels and have said they've got whatever problem, disease, or Crohn's again, because I actually saw a guy that had this and reversed it, saying they've reversed it. What's the point in pretending you have an illness and saying you've reversed it if you haven't? Like, no one would do that. So yeah, as I was saying, chronic inflammation is at the root of most pain and illness and disease. So this whole breathing protocol just completely changes the game. If a breath-based method could fight inflammation, you'd expect headlines, hospital protocols, even front-page news. But what happened instead after all this was proven? Radio silence. Because it challenges the entire pharmaceutical model for chronic disease. So what is unchecked inflammation really doing to your body? And how does the Wim Hof Method help you fight back? That is what's up next. The role of inflammation and how Wim reduces it. Chronic inflammation isn't just a buzzword. It's at the root of so many issues: joint pain and stiffness, autoimmune disorders, brain fog and depression, relentless fatigue and heart disease, and even that nagging neck and back pain you can't seem to get rid of. The Wim Hof breathing method attacks inflammation on multiple fronts. Not only that, if you do the whole cold exposure, which was my last video, you'll be able to find that in the playlist that I put on at the end of the video. Cold exposure also lowers inflammation. It rewires your immune response, shifting you from a pro-inflammatory to an anti-inflammatory state. It floods your system with endorphins, your body's natural painkillers, and sends a powerful reset signal through your vagus nerve, the master regulator of inflammation. And to top it off, it lowers cortisol, dialing down chronic stress from the top. In other words, it's a total body reset. And it costs you nothing but a few minutes and your breath. I personally do this every morning, right in the morning, as soon as you wake up, because I read, and I think Wim Hof said somewhere, it's best to do with an empty stomach. So, if this practice is so powerful, what's stopping you from starting right now. So here's why it's worth trying if I haven't convinced you enough already. The Wim Hof basic breathing method isn't a theory. It's a scientifically validated, immune boosting, inflammation reducing tool. And it takes just minutes a day. You don't need ice baths, although they're cool and they also have other benefits. And you don't need to be a yogi that's meditated for 10 years. Just consistency. Because over time your baseline increases and you get more benefits and can obviously hold your breath for longer and all these other things. So time for your 7-day micro challenge. Today, do 1 round of the breathing protocol. Notice any shifts, energy, calm, or even zero change. Drop your day 1 experiences in the comments. Feeling is understanding. Wim Hof. But really, actually tell me in the comments what you find, because everyone has different benefits and feels different things. Like at the start, I never had any tingling. Apparently people get tingling. But as I held my breath longer, I started to get only bits of tingling in my hands. Whereas people get it like all up their arms and their legs, and like when they get to round 4, they might have like certain emotions and stuff. And also just let me know if you've ever just tried the Wim Hof breathing method before. So just drop a comment below with your experiences or any questions, and let's build a healthier body, 1 breath at a time. Thank you for watching. Please like if you learnt something and subscribe to keep learning. If you want to buy the book, then again, I'll remind you it's top of the description. If you know anyone that's interested in this kind of content, then please share this to them, as it really helps me out. If you want to watch any of my other videos in this book, then their playlist will be on screen now. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. And remember, stay positive even when it seems everything is against you.